Hi, wellness friends. Welcome back to the Wellness Inspired Podcast, a place where you can find inspiration, motivation, and empowerment in the pursuit of a wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Sherry Davidson. I'm a wellness coach and acupuncturist in Houston, Texas, and I am deeply passionate about health and well-being. And as always, I'm here with my co-host, Finn. And if you're new to the podcast, Finn is my terrier mixed rescue dog, trail runner, and loyal companion. He is also a therapy dog and greeter at Element 5 Acupuncture and Wellness. And I'm excited today because I get to share another passion of mine. I had a former career in interior design. Some of you know, some of you don't. So if you're new to the podcast, yes, I used to be an interior designer, and I worked for a firm in Houston, downtown Houston, doing corporate design. And I also did some design work in Austin. I worked for a residential architect. And throughout my school and career, I really enjoyed creating and experiencing aesthetically pleasing spaces. However, I found it more fascinating that design is not only about experiencing something aesthetically pleasing, but also about how our environment affects us emotionally, physically, and spiritually. This leads us to today's episode. I will weave my love for design and health and wellness together for a more holistic perspective and talk about a concept that has the power to transform not only your well-being, but also the very fabric of your community. And this concept is the concept of third spaces. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly are third spaces? Well, they are more than just physical locations. They are places in our lives that exist beyond our homes and workplaces. These are spaces where we can come together, connect with others, learn, grow, and ultimately find a sense of belonging. In this episode, I'll explore the concept of third spaces in depth. I'll discuss their significance in promoting social interaction, community well-being, and individual health. I'll also share valuable tips on how you can actively create more third space experiences in your life, enriching your journey and contributing to the greater good. So, whether you are a seasoned explorer of third spaces or someone just discovering the magic they hold, you're in for an insightful and inspiring discussion. So let's dive into the world of third spaces and learn how they can enhance your life and communities. But before we get started, I want to share with you, I am planning a European wellness riverboat cruise in 2024. My friend Tammy Hiroka is a travel concierge and a friend. She's also been on the podcast. We talked about wellness travel. So check that episode out if you're interested. But she's helping me plan this adventure. I have yet to commit to a river. I'm really going to commit soon. But I'm thinking of a 7-night cruise on the Danube River. We'll cruise through Austria, Germany, Hungary, and Slovakia. There will also be active sightseeing, so hiking, biking. And I keep saying, hopefully I haven't asked Tammy about this, but hopefully maybe we can get some running in there. And there will be yoga, wellness talks, relaxing, and locally sourced cuisine. So stay tuned for more details. I already have many people interested, so get ready to grab your spot. Okay, let's do this. Okay, here we are. So let's define what a third space is. So what exactly is a third space? The concept of the third space in design refers to a physical, or now we can say virtual environment that exists outside of our primary spaces of home, which is the first space, and work, the second space. The sociologist Ray Oldenburg popularized this idea in 1989 in his book, The Great Good Place: Cafes, coffee shops, bookstores, bars, hair salons, and other hangouts at the heart of a community. I have this book. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it has been sitting on my shelf for a very, very long time. So it was really nice to go back and skim through it while creating this content. I highly recommend this book if you are interested in third spaces, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper. So I will put the link in the show notes so you have that available to you. Okay, onward. So a third space serves as a social or communal gathering place where people can connect, interact, and build community. It is often seen as a neutral ground that promotes social interaction and a sense of belonging. Okay, so I want to give you some key characteristics of a third space. For one, a third space or third spaces are typically less structured and more relaxed than home or work environments. So this informality encourages people to be themselves and engage in spontaneous interactions. Another key characteristic of third spaces is they should be easily accessible to a diverse group of people. So they're often located in public areas and are open to everyone, regardless of age, background, or social status. And this is a key characteristic right here, because the primary purpose of a third space is to facilitate interaction and community building. It provides a platform for people to meet, converse, and connect with others. Another one is third spaces often attract a diverse crowd, fostering social integration and exposure to different perspectives. And last one is third spaces are designed to be comfortable and welcoming, with amenities like seating, lighting, and refreshments to encourage people to linger and socialize. These are not the fast food restaurants that want you to eat and leave. And I don't know if you guys have ever made this observation, but most of the fast food restaurants, their colors are red and yellow. And red and yellow are very energetic colors. Red is very action oriented, and yellow, from my understanding, is kind of annoying. They say if you don't want your house guests to stay long, then you paint a room yellow. So that is just telling right there. Like they are not creating an environment where you hang out and linger. They want you to eat and leave. That is the opposite of third spaces. So what I want to do now is give you some examples of third spaces, and this can include coffee shops, parks, community centers, libraries, public plazas, co-working spaces, and even online forums and social media platforms. Not my favorite, but they do offer a platform for connection. This concept of third space has gained significance in urban planning and design to combat social isolation and promote community well-being. Now, I'm going to share with you a property. There has been a trend of living wellness communities popping up in the States and outside the States. The most well-known, the one that I know is pretty big here in the States, is Serenbe Properties. And it is located in Atlantic, Georgia. So I'm just going to read what they have on their website, or just a little snippet of what they have on their website. It says, what is Serenbe? Serenbe is an award-winning biophilic community that connects people to nature and each other. Serenbe Properties is a neighborhood focused on well-being, full of fresh food and fresh air. This community is set among acres of preserved forest and meadows with miles of nature trails that connect homes and residents with restaurants, arts, and businesses. So that's on their website, just a little snippet. I was on, I don't know when it was. I guess it was I think it might have been during the lockdown. I was doing a lot of like Zoom stuff, but I was on a Zoom call with the Global Wellness Institute, and the topic was wellness real estate. And that is what Serenbe is. And someone was on there from Serenbe, and he was talking about how they intentionally design the properties with these third space characteristics. So it's a mingling of homes, outdoor spaces, cafe, restaurants, shops, theaters, and businesses. And one thing specific that he mentioned was that, just to give you an example, they located the mailboxes centrally located in a high traffic area. And that way, people were always running into one another and encouraged to talk to each other. So this third space was outside of home and work. It was informal and accessible to all, and it encouraged social interaction and physical activity because they had to walk to their mailbox. The property also encourages walking, biking, and being outdoors. So I thought that was a great example. And if you're interested in checking out Serenbe, I will put the link in the show notes so you can do that. So anyways, I just thought that was a great example and I wanted to share it. So just to summarize all of this, because we're going to move on, third space concept in design emphasizes the importance of creating communal environments where people can come together, interact, and build a sense of belonging outside of their work and home setting. So these spaces play a crucial role in fostering social connections, community engagement, and overall health and well-being to the individual and the whole. I want to, it's a little repetitive, but I do want to read a quote out of Ray Oldenburg's book, because again, it just summarizes it in a nice way too. And he says, third places exist on neutral ground and serve to level their guests to a condition of social equality. Within these places, conversation is the primary activity and the major vehicle for the display and appreciation of human personality and individuality. Third places are taken for granted, and most have a low profile. Since the formal institutions of society make stronger claims on the individual, third places are normally open in the off hours as well as other times. The character of a third place is determined by its regular clientele and is marked by a playful mood which contrasts with people's more serious involvement in other spheres. Through a radically different kind of setting from the home, the third place is remarkably similar to a good home in psychological comfort and support that it extends. Okay, what do you guys think so far? I really just love this. It just makes so much sense to me. I want to move on to how third spaces positively impact your health and well-being. Okay, so let's start with a big one. It can reduce stress. Third spaces often provide a relaxed and welcoming atmosphere, which can help reduce your stress. So spending time in these environments can offer mental breaks from the pressures of work and home life. Another way it can impact our well-being, and this is another big one, is the social aspect of third spaces. It promotes social interaction, and it can combat feelings of loneliness and isolation. Engaging with others in a positive and supportive environment can boost mental well-being. And going back to what Ray Oldenburg says is that the main activity that happens in these third spaces is conversation. Okay, number 3 is physical activity. Some third spaces, like parks and recreational areas, encourage physical activity such as walking, jogging, or playing sports. Physical activity is essential for maintaining physical health and reducing the risk of chronic diseases. For Houston, we have Memorial Park. We also have Herman Park. I run a lot in both of them, mostly Memorial Park, but tons of people around all the time. It's fabulous. Another way that it impacts impacts our well-being is mental stimulation. So libraries, cultural centers, and other third spaces, they provide opportunities for mental stimulations through reading, attending lectures, or participating in artistic and intellectual activities. And this can contribute to our cognitive health, among other things. Community support is another one. So many third spaces are hubs for community engagement and support. So joining clubs or groups that meet in these spaces can provide a sense of belonging and access to resources that support overall well-being. And also, this kind of I just thought of this. It reminds me of a book that I read. It was Living Danishly for a Year. She was from London, and her husband moved to Denmark for a year. I don't know how long they lived there, but her book was Living Danishly for a Year because he got a job with Lego, and it was her experience of living there. And one of the things that she mentioned in her book was that they were part of all these groups and clubs. I found that fascinating. She was like, everyone belonged to like 10 different groups and 10 different clubs, but Denmark has also been rated as one of the happiest places in the world. So maybe this is part of it, right? Is engaging in those third spaces and having that communal support. Another benefit of third spaces, they can provide an alternative to life's sedentary and work-focused aspects. You see, they encourage a more balanced lifestyle by promoting leisure activities, hobbies, and relaxation. And another thing third spaces can support us in is healthy eating options. Bet you didn't think about that one. But some third spaces like community gardens, I know we have them here in Houston, or cafes, they may offer more nutritious food options, promoting better dietary choices for you. That is not the fast food where they want you to eat and leave with low quality food. So these spaces want you to hang out and they want you to eat better. Okay, we've got a couple more. So another thing that third spaces can provide is a sense of purpose. So engaging in activities or volunteering in third spaces can give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment, which is essential for mental and emotional well-being. Also, positive mental health. The sense of community and belonging fostered by third spaces can contribute to positive mental health outcomes, including improved self-esteem and social connections. And last but not least, access to third spaces that foster supportive social networks can enhance an individual's resilience to life's challenges and stressors. This is that idea that I don't have any kids, but have plenty of friends that do, and I've worked with plenty of moms. But it really does take a village to raise a kid. So I think that's where this comes from. Or if you're just having a problem or a challenge in your life, that you have a social network to lean on and have someone to either listen or to get advice from. So this increases your resilience. So isn't that just beautiful? I love it. And I want to also note here, I think it's important that specific health and wellness benefits of third spaces can vary depending on the types of spaces and individual preferences. We cannot forget about individual preferences, right? Some people may find solace and relaxation in a quiet library, while others may thrive in the social and active environment of a community center or park. The key here is that third spaces offer diverse opportunities for individuals to improve their physical, mental, and emotional well-being by providing alternatives to the stressors and routine of home and work life. Okay, next, we are going to talk about how third spaces benefit the health and well-being of a community. Okay, so I'm not going to go in depth here. I'm just going to give you some bullet points, and then we're going to wrap it up with some tips that hopefully you can apply in your life. Okay. Let's talk about how third spaces benefit the health and well-being of your community. The first one is community cohesion. Third spaces serve as meeting points for people from diverse backgrounds. I've mentioned this before, and it fosters a sense of community and social cohesion. This social interaction can bridge gaps between different groups and create a more inclusive and connected community. Another one is it reduces social isolation. So I'm not going to get into this one because we've already talked a little bit about that on an individual level, but it also helps the community as a whole too. When you have a sense of belonging, then the community is only stronger. It also enhances the quality of life, not only of just the individual, but when you have the individual experiencing a quality life, just imagine what the community is experiencing. Lifelong education and learning. So you have libraries, recreational centers, cultural spaces, educational centers. They all act as venue for educational programs, workshops, and events. So these resources promote lifelong learning and skill development, which can positively impact individuals and the community's intellectual capital. So that is super important. Economic development, vibrant third spaces can attract visitors and boost local economies. For example, coffee shops, restaurants, and cultural venues can contribute to increased foot traffic and economic activity in the area. I saw this a lot in the Faroe Islands when I was there, and definitely Lisbon, Portugal when I was there. Definitely Lisbon. There was a coffee shop. There were like 4 coffee shops on every corner. And then there's people walking everywhere, and there was so much culture. It was super amazing and incredible to experience. So, okay, let's move on. So also it can impact the health and wellness of the community. So we've been talking about that. So I'm not going to get into that. And just again, imagine if you are thriving as an individual and you have a community of thriving individuals. What does that look like? Just seems amazing to me. Third spaces also benefit civic engagement. Community centers and meeting spaces often host civic and neighborhood meetings. This enables residents to engage in the local governance and decision-making. And the result of this participation can lead to more responsive and accountable local governments. Okay, another benefit of the greater good is the environmental benefits. So there are parks and green spaces in the community. This can contribute to environmental benefits by improving air quality, providing habitat for wildlife, and mitigating the urban heat island effect. And this positively impacts the overall environmental well-being of the community, or the greater good, as Ray Oldenburg would say. Let's see. Let's move on. I have a couple more to tell you about. Let's see. Third spaces also support arts and cultural, which contribute to the cultural enrichment of the community. So this includes art exhibitions, performances, and cultural festivals that celebrate diversity and heritage. Another one is resilience. I'm not going to go into that one because I did talk about that one in the individual. But the last one I'm going to mention here is crime reduction. Well-maintained and active third spaces can deter criminal activity by increasing natural surveillance and community involvement in safety efforts. And I had a experience with this at my office in Rice Village. We all came together as a community and started watching out for each other because we had some people coming in and trying to steal things. And actually my wallet was stolen. This is probably a year or two after I had been in my new space. But because of that, we all came together and started watching out, and eventually we ran them off. It was a group of people coming in the building, but eventually they left, and we have not had any problems since. So that was my experience of crime reduction and how community can come together and watch out for one another. So it does work. So, all right. Well, that is how it impacts the community as a whole. And I just want to summarize it up by saying, third spaces, it is about individual well-being and the collective good of the community. Third spaces foster a sense of belonging, social support, cultural and educational activities, and promote a healthier, more engaged and connected community. A strong network of third spaces contribute to a community's overall vitality and resilience, making it a better place to live for all its residents. I really encourage you to go check out Serenbe. Look them up. I will put the link in the show notes. There's also a place in Mexico, and if I can find that link, I will put that in as well. And then there's another one, I think in Florida. But let me check into that. But I will definitely put Serenbe in there. But I highly encourage you to go check this out. I've talked to some people that live there, and they say it is like no other. Like, it is just a really amazing experience. And I hope to make it out one day just to see what it's like to have my own experience of it. You can go visit as well. You don't have to live there. You can go stay for a weekend or a week or however long you want to. So, but I highly encourage you to do that. And if you do, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with some tips on how to cultivate more third space experiences in your life. By cultivating more third space experiences in your life, you can enrich your well-being where you are now and community engagement. Okay, so here are some tips for you, and then we'll be done. So I think the first thing would be identify your interests, right? Start by identifying your interests and passions, right? Because it's still based on the individual. So what activities or hobbies do you enjoy? And look for third spaces that align with your interests. So whether it's a hobby, a club, a cultural center, or sports league. For me, I picked running. It has a great community of people, and and I just love being outdoors in nature. And it's a routine thing I do all the time. And so routine is nice as well. So the next thing you can do to explore local resources. So you want to research your local area to discover existing third spaces. So now you know what they are, so you know what to look for. So visiting community centers, libraries, parks, and cultural institutions to see what they have to offer. So take note of the events, the workshops, or clubs that you might want to join. The other thing, remember, the main activity in these third spaces is interaction and conversation. So prioritize social interactions. Make an effort to engage with others in these spaces. Strike up conversations, attend group meetings, or participate in collaborative activities. Building social connections is fundamental to third spaces. Okay. Again, routine. Allocate time in your schedule for third space visit, whatever that looks like for you. Treat these visits as important appointments for your well-being. It's self-care. So whether it's a weekly book club or a daily walk in the local park, consistency matters. Another thing you can do is establish clear goals for your third space experiences. So what do you want to get out of it? And what do you hope to achieve? So whether it's learning a new skill, meeting new people, or simply enjoying a moment of relaxation, having objectives can keep you engaged. So be prepared. Another thing you can do is consider volunteering or getting involved in organization events within the third space. So contributing your time and skills not only benefits your community, but also enhances your sense of belonging and purpose. How do you like that one? Be open. I cannot express this one enough. Be open to trying new activities and stepping out of your comfort zone. Exploring diverse third spaces can lead to exciting discoveries and personal growth. And if possible, combine your interest and activities in third spaces. So for example, you can join a fitness class in a community center or attend a discussion group at your local cafe. Let's see. Encourage your friends and family to join you in exploring third spaces wherever you live. So shared experiences can strengthen relationships and create lasting memories. I love that one. And while third spaces are valuable, it is essential to strike a balance between social engagements and personal time. So ensure that you have time for your self-care and relaxation as well. Another thing you can do is support local businesses. By supporting local businesses, this helps sustain the third space ecosystem. And so therefore you're giving back to your community. And the last tip I'm going to throw out there for you is document your experiences. Consider journaling your experiences in third spaces. This can help you reflect on your growth and the positive impact these spaces have on your life. So there you have it. I believe in the value of third spaces, and this is my advocacy for their importance within your community. So to wrap it up here, remember that cultivating more third space experiences is a journey, and it's okay to start small. The key is to be intentional about seeking out these opportunities and embracing the sense of community and well-being they offer. And over time, you can build a rich tapestry of experiences that contribute to your personal growth and the greater good of your community. Okay, what did you all think? Thank you for tuning in to this episode on third spaces and their profound impact on our well-being and communities. I hope you found the insights and tips here shared valuable in your quest to cultivate more enriching third space experiences in your life. And remember, these spaces offer more than just a physical location. They are hubs of connection, learning, relaxation, and growth. And by actively engaging with third spaces, you enhance your own well-being and contribute to your community's vitality. Until next time, embrace the concept of third spaces and the positive impacts they can have on your journey towards a healthier, more connected, and fulfilling life. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share with your family and friends. You can also give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps others find me as well. To get updates on new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to thewellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up. I'll put the link to the website in the show notes so you can click and join. Also, there's a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you're in the Houston area or just visiting and interested in our services, acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, zen shiatsu, or dry needling therapy, contact us. You can find out more on our website at element5om.com. That's element5, the number 5, om.com. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out to us and we'll get you on the schedule. And as always, I would love to hear your feedback. I am dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring and informative with an artsy, fun, edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet here again next time. And remember, never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.